You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we got a couple of things, both involving the Baltimore Ravens this morning. One involving Lamar Jackson making some comments about the collusion situation because, well, that affected him and that contract he got, right? He originally wanted a fully guaranteed contract, and well, all the owners on the cool all sat back and went, nah, we're not doing that. And we even saw owners talk amongst themselves about players on their own team. Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson was evidently promised a fully guaranteed contract. By the way, I think the owners ought to be able to converse with each other all they want. It's their teams, all right? And if they choose as a group to say, you know what, we don't want to start this fully guaranteed crap. We know Jimmy Haslam jumped out there and gave it to Deshaun Watson. Let's stop it before it goes any further. And it didn't help that Watson was a disaster either. That didn't help at all. And it didn't help that Russell Wilson, while his stats looked decent, he wasn't very good either, all right? Or at best, he was solid, and Denver dodged the fully guaranteed bullet with him. So that was a second case of, whoa, Denver actually dodged the bullet, and they still ate a big dead cap hit, getting rid of him. The other thing we're going to talk about, and this is where we're going to start, is John Harbaugh, because the mainstream legacy media thought they was going to be cute with John Harbaugh over, John and Jim, his brother, both went and visited Trump at the White House. And, of course, legacy media, woke sports media, we're going to take exception with it. So we're going to ask him, and I guess evidently do it in a smart-ass way, about this trip. And John Harbaugh was having none of it. I mean, he sniffed this BS out real fast and nipped it in the bud. He nipped it, all right? Little nip, little snip and nip. Ravens coach John Harbaugh, along with his brother Jim, recently visited President Trump in the Oval Office during Harbaugh's first media availability. Since it happened, he was asked about it. He didn't like the question. I don't blame him. Via Sarah Ellison of the Ravens Vault podcast, The What? Okay. A reported questioned Harbaugh on Trump's past denigrating comments about Baltimore. What about the crime? Or, I mean, what are we talking about? Harbaugh didn't appreciate the framing of the question. Quote, why would you frame the question? I would have framed the question like, quote, you got a chance to go visit with the president, man. What was the experience like? Harbaugh said, it was amazing. It was awesome. And I promise you, I root for our president. So not only did he shove it back in their face, he did like a D-Generation X chop, a couple of chops. I don't know if Shawn Michaels and Triple H literally came out on each side of him and chopped the reporter right in the face. That's hilarious. I want our president to be successful, just like I want my quarterback to be successful, and I want my team to be successful. That's hilarious. Quote, it was an amazing experience. It's not often you get invited to do something like that. As a family, we were there. My daughter was there. Jim's daughters were there. My mom, my dad was there. My mom and President Trump, just seeing how he treated her was really meaningful. I love it. Bravo. That's the fourth president I've met. Jim has met with 7, so he's got a lead on me. I had the chance to meet Obama twice. Incredible experience. Had a chance to meet President Biden when he was the vice president in Iraq. I spent a lot of time with him in Iraq, which is amazing. Those are moments that I'll definitely cherish, and it means a lot. In 2019, Trump called Baltimore a, quote, disgusting rat, rodent-infested mess. No human being would want to live there. And it was absolutely fair for the reporter to ask, come on. He said it because last I checked, I would assume Baltimore still has the same crime problem. Are they still voting in the same direction? Inquiring minds want to know. Question mark. Same can be said for Chicago and a lot of other places. I won't get into that, but I should, frankly. I won't. So, I think, look, he answered it perfectly. And then, of course, he ties it back in with Obama and Biden. So it's like, okay, what you going to say now? What you going to say now exactly? Question mark. John Harbaugh, bravo. I mean, that's a master class is what he ran. That's a master class. So, Lamar Jackson was asked about this collusion situation. All right. Lamar Jackson wasn't at all interested in discussing the arbitration case that helped cause so much upheaval within the NFL Players Association. By the way, J.C. Treader, he's looking for a job. He's looking for a job now, too, along with Lloyd Howe. In January, or I guess Lloyd Howe still works for the ownership group that's trying to get minority ownership somewhere. Yeah, I guess he kept his side piece, his side gig. In January, arbitrator Christopher Droney ruled out there wasn't sufficient evidence of collusion by owners in contract negotiations with quarterbacks after the Cleveland Browns gave Deshaun Watson a $230 million fully guaranteed contract in 2022. The union is appealing. Jackson's free agency a couple of years ago was a big part of that case. The Ravens gave him the non-exclusive franchise tag, meaning he had a chance to negotiate with other teams, but he ultimately signed a 5-year deal with Baltimore. The Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast first published the arbitrator's decision. Quote, I'm focused on football right now. I'm not worried about that right now. Jackson said that happened. It is what it is. I'm focused on this right now. That's a good answer. He's worried about football, as he should. Look, Lamar Jackson's legacy is at stake right now. Let's be real. It is at stake. All right? The revelation that the NFLPA and the league had confidentially agreed to keep the arbitrator's ruling quiet has led to turmoil within the union. Lloyd Howe resigned as executive director of the NFLPA. Jackson wouldn't comment on what's happening within the NFLPA either. Quote, yeah, it's kind of a mess. We've been meeting about it the past couple of days, long meetings. And that's also been something hanging over my head, said tackle Zach Tom, player rep for the Green Bay Packers. I think it's an unfortunate situation. I'm not really sure how much I can say. I'll just leave it at that. So they bumped over to another player in talking about this whole thing. But look, Lamar's answer is right. He got a boatload of money. He did. And his legacy's at stake. All right? Look, everybody wanted to talk about how great the dual threat quarterback was. He doesn't have much playoff success. And the actual dual threat quarterback that's now been to 2 Super Bowls and won one is Jalen Hurts. It's not Lamar Jackson. And I can't figure out why that doesn't get brought. Not only that, but both games, Jalen Hurts balled out in the Super Bowl. There ain't been a lot of balling out by Lamar Jackson at all in playoff games. I mean, the Chiefs were down last year. Last year was the year the Bills and the Ravens. This kind of goes for Josh Allen too. I mean, you got legacy at stake now. All right? I mean, Joe Burrow has been to the Super Bowl. He hadn't won one, but he's at least been there. All right? And that's the but you've got Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. This is a huge year because you don't want to end up as Charles Barkley and Dan Marino. Arguably the greatest of all time for both players to have never gotten a championship. And if they'd gotten a championship, it would change how they're talked about now that their career is over. I mean, that's a big deal. And don't get me wrong, Lamar's passing improved a lot last year. It did. I mean, he got a boatload of passing touchdowns. A boatload. But it wasn't sufficient. I understand this team is part of it and this, that, and the other. You got Derrick Henry now. The excuses are a wrap. He's got a Super Bowl coach, and he's got Derrick Henry on the team. You got Zay Flowers. You need to get a ring now. It's put up or shut up time for Lamar. Man, the next 3 seasons for both of those quarterbacks are huge. And if I'm having to guess, I think only one of the two actually gets it done if they don't keep canceling each other out. It's amazing how far that I still can't believe that Chiefs team made it to the Super Bowl. I didn't feel like they were all that great last year. They still make the Super Bowl, and then they ran up against a freaking buzzsaw with the Eagles. Tell me what you think in the comments section below. Hit subscribe. I appreciate everybody watching. Peace. I'm out. Before we jump in, make sure you go to our merch store. Our Make Basketball Great Again shirt and our newest shirt that just came out. Both shirts are brand new. The American Flag Skull Fever Enforcer shirt. And use promo code CC22 for 20% off.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.